Hello, SNA Assassinators. This is Super Ninja Austin back here in another video. And this is the AEW Dynamite review video on August 21st, 2024. And this is the go-home show 4 days before the biggest pay-per-view of the year in all of professional wrestling, next to WrestleMania, of course. And that is AEW All In. And yeah, this show was absolutely amazing. What a way to have a go-home show like before the biggest pay-per-view. But this is not the only go-home show of AEW they're gonna have with AEW before their trip over to London, like for All In, because we still got Rampage, which they're probably pre-taping right now, along with AEW Collision, because this Sunday they will indeed be at Wembley Stadium. But yeah, like from start to finish, they did a very tremendous job. I was like, and it wasn't like too predictable, only just fairly predictable, like something that we would expect, but at the same time, but with more excitement in it, like had some aura, like, and have us very excited and tune in until the pay-per-view, I guess you could say. But yeah, and then it start off with a great segment, and yeah, just like last week, and this happened this week, but this time it was the contract signing segment, and then yeah, it was none other than, and it's not just not ordinary contract signing segment. This was a contract signing segment to make it official for the TBS Championship with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, against the CEO, Mercedes Moné. And this is where they were out in the ring, like after being presented by Tony Schiavone, I believe. Yeah. That's where then they getting ready to sign a contract, but they had short and sweet and to the point kind of promo they had to say to one another, which start off with Britt Baker saying, and this where then Britt Baker was like, let me do a little bit of a reminder. Before there even was a CEO, Mercedes, like they were a DMD. And I was like, man, this is what makes the match so great. Like, because the battle of which three-letter nicknames is better. Is it DMD or is it the CEO? We're just going to have to wait and see at AEW All In. This is where she signs the contract, like we're saying those couple of words. And this is where then we got the CEO, Mercedes Moné, then hilariously respond to that, saying like, "Oh, like that's all great. You say a DMD," and that's when I started dying with laughter. I nearly slipped with laughing, like if there was a banana peel in the middle of the floor. But yeah, luckily I didn't do that because that would obviously be embarrassing. But even if it was for this funny segment, but still. But anyway, this is where Mercedes Moné continued by saying, while making herself laugh, and then this is where then she's like, "But Britt, don't." And this is where they're like, the only reason why these people in Wales like you tonight is because they see themselves in you. And I was like, damn, like, did she really have to go that far? And then this is where she described both the fans and Britt Baker as losers. And this is where fans started hating her more for saying that. You can say like, boo, like you are horrible for insulting us. This is where then Moné then also continues saying like, you think you're really gonna beat me? And this is where the Wales fans, the Cardiff Wales fans, let me rephrase that. The Cardiff Wales fans were starting to sound like the Chicago fans, which they were very rude as hell, and they started chanting "Shut the flub up." And I was like, man, did your parents respectively ever taught you any good manners? Like, apparently, I'm not sure so, but anyway, that's where then we got. This is where then the CEO then respond and I believe in a very I'm not sure about sarcastic, but in a very unfazed in an unfazed response, saying like, wow, rude. And then this is where she's like, and this is where she was like, and guess who's my biggest fan? And it gets you, Britt. Like, you're my biggest fan. And this is where there's like. And this is where then she was like, and you think you're all in? And this is where Britt Baker's like, well, what do you think? And this is where, in response, Mercedes Moné then explaining like she's been all in since day one, like from the last, like she's been all in ever since she was 10 years old, and she was there like nothing put on the work. Like I put Like I put everything on the map, like, and that's what's all in. And then it's where then fans have no choice but to clap on that because it's absolutely true. But it's where then, but it's where that's where then she then added saying like you'll never be all in like me because you cannot be like me. And this Sunday at All In, like you, like will not beat me. And then that's where then there's a mixture of cheers and boos because because Britt have her fans and then Mercedes have her fans. And that's where then Britt Baker then responds like, okay, like you got some guts, girl. And then it's where she's like, like I have some guts as well. Like Mercedes, like I got some guts. Like I have the heart and I have the bones because I never had to put. Like I never had plan B's. I have 2 plan A's. And then this is where the brings up. You call yourself the blueprint. Well, I'm called I'm like if you're this is where she's like, if you're the blueprint, then I'm the gold standard. Like and this is where then what else he stated right on to the CEO and current TBS champion. It was and she's like, and I've been there since day one here in AEW. And he's like, and you call yourself the star maker, and that's pretty cool. But I'm the maker of the baddest biscuit iced tea chicken hotcakes of the block. And he's like, and you got one thing right, Mercedes, though. Like I admired you like in this business. Like I wanted to be exactly like you, Mercedes. And that's where Mercedes Monet's like, yeah, like of course, like who else? Who wouldn't be like me? This where in a heelish, arrogant way. This is where Britt Baker then was like girls like me like would be the first female like in the foundation of a company that you're sitting on right now. And that's where then Mercedes Moné's like, yeah, like I have the round of applause on that one. Like, and she's like, and I thank you for that because I am your TBS champion now. And this is where then Britt Baker's like, and you made a difference. Like, I cannot take that away from you, Moné. And this is where. And this is where then she continued after the fans start chanting like doing a back and forth chants for their nicknames, DMD and CEO. This is where then Britt Baker's like, yeah, but that was all in the past. Like, and that person that you once was is gone. Like you're just nothing but an arrogant ass that you care more about being the hottest paid female in all of professional wrestling. Like without your damn legacy, like and that inspired like that. Of making future stars and future role models. And I was like, gee, where'd she got that from? Like from her former tag partner that's in the other company that used to been a women's champion herself about almost a month ago. But that's a different story for a different day. But this is where Britt Baker then this is where she was like, and that's where then and she continued by saying like I don't know where exactly that girl went, Mercedes, but I hope that you find her again before Sunday, because I want to. And she was like, because I want to beat that version of you, like when I become the new TBS champion or something like that. And this where then she stand up right over the table. This where then this where she went right in front of the table. Like this where Camille was very insecure of her doing that. This is where Britt Baker's like, relax, Camille. Like, I'm just going to follow the rules. No physicality. I'm just going to, and we agreed to that Mr. Anthony Khan. No, she didn't say Anthony Khan. She said just Tony Khan. Like, for short, that's where she was like, and I promise I'm not going to hit you, Camille, and especially not you, Mercedes. But you know what? No, I was just kidding about Camille. Like this biscuit iced tea chicken hotcakes is getting on my nerves. She whacked it with the microphone right in their head. This where then she sent it right to right side. This is where she threw this is where she threw the contract that they both signed right into Mercedes Moné's face. This is where she hits what's her name? Camille's face right into the table that the contract was at. And then this is where she placed Camille right on top of Mercedes Moné that was sitting right into the chair right into the left. This is where we got Britt Baker then went right up on the table, hit a crossbody right onto the two. This is where then she sent them packing. And this is where she grabbed onto the TBS championship. This is where she's like, this is about to be mine. And I was thinking like they had her standing up tall. And it has me wondering, like, who could win this match, and who's going to walk out of Wembley Stadium as the TBS champion, and is it DMD or CEO? We're just going to have to wait until this Sunday, but yeah, like, the rules and statistics in professional wrestling on go-home shows. And unless they make an appearance on Collision or maybe a Rampage, like, and we could see a follow-up to this, I'm not sure, like, who might win this match. So, but we'll probably get my predictions once I talk about it on the Go Home show on AEW Collision. Just stay tuned until then. Let me know in the comments down below. What's your thoughts on this segment? Do you think this was the best segment of the night, or do you think it was something else? Which I think it was the main event segment, which it featured the AEW World Title feud. But yeah, this is about to be the second best match of the night. But let's hope that, Camille and, Mercedes Moné are okay after taking that bump, because it looked very painful with them getting stacked right into each other and getting crossbodied by Britt Baker. But, let me know in the comment section right down below, though, about who's your pick on who's going to walk out as TBS champion again. And, let's move on to the next slide, and let's talk about Chris Jericho with him heading out to the ring, with him saying, like, hey, guys. And then this before heading to the ring, but he was backstage in a backstage interview with Renee Paquette, or should I say the remarkable Renee Paquette, just like Excalibur likes saying it. This is where we got Chris Jericho's you think you're like your uncle, like the man that's actually the legend. Like, well, I'll put that into the test, and as for and he's like, and I wouldn't be surprised, like, if you're lucky to have another match after facing me. And this is where Chris Jericho didn't set his sights on Hook, and he's like, and this is where he was like, and I hope you be watching this, because this is gonna be just This is gonna be like nothing but a practice match, like, that I'm gonna have against you, like, when I take you on this Sunday, and I'm gonna demolish you, like, with one Judas effect or whatever he said on that backstage interview. But this is where he had his way out into the ring. This is where then we got. And this is where then Chris Jericho's like, so I'll see you at Wembley. And this is where what's his name, Brian Keefe, hilariously said, like, yeah, like, you better not chicken out on us. You better bring your ass at Wembley this Sunday or something like that. And, he gets the Goofy Wrestling of the Night award for sure. This is where we got the Dynamite Kid, Tommy Billington, like, taking on Chris Jericho next, where Chris Jericho going for a headlock, but this is where he gets shoved right into the corner. He gets drop kicked by the Dynamite Kid Jr. This is where he started dodging Chris Jericho, going to the top corner ropes. Then he went to the left side, turning on his right signal, I guess you could say. And this is where, once he was right at the right corner side, he hits a big shoulder tackle onto the Learning Tree leader. This is where we got what's his name? Tommy Billington went right up on the top rope. This is where then we got this is where he goes for a big elbow drop right onto the Learning Tree teacher. This is where he goes for a kip up. This is where he gets right back up. That's where then we go try to go for a back suplex like maneuver, or I don't know exactly in particular, but this is where he grabs onto the head of Chris Jericho. He hits him face first right onto the barricade, hit him back first right into the right side after hitting him face first in the top corner. This is where he hits a big headbutt right on to the Learning Tree teacher. That's where then he throws him right back in the ring. This is where Tommy Billington tried to get back in the ring, but this is where the referee had their back turned right in, and looking at Chris Jericho and being concerned about the Learning Tree professor, I guess you could call him. And this is where one of his students, the bad apple, Brian Keith, then saw the referee was not looking, and he decided to trip him right over and pretending that he did not do anything. This is where Tommy Billington's like, was not a fool, and he knew exactly who tripped him over. He's like, hey, what's the big idea? Before he can even get an answer, this is where Big Bill attacks him from behind, hits him face first right on the ring, bottom upper right side. Or not the lower right side, I meant to say. This is where he started doing the thumbs up and started smiling like he normally do. Like when Chris Jericho's like, thanks, guys, when he said about to say goodbye to the guys that he encounters. This is where we got Chris Jericho took advantage of this moment and got the offense and doing every punishing maneuvers onto the second generation wrestler. This is where until Billington got back up, and then He hits him with a running clothesline. This is where he picks Jericho right back up, put him right to the bottom corner. This is where he sends him right to the upper corner. This is where he runs right there. Hit a middle missile drop kick. This is where we got Billington get back up from that maneuver. This is where then he picks up and goes for like a super body plex slam maneuver on the Chris Jericho next. This is where Chris Jericho try to get back up right on his knees. This is where we got what's his name? This is where then Tommy Billington Irish whip Chris Jericho right into the right side. This is where he tried to go for a drop kick, but this is where Chris Jericho hang on to the ropes. This is where then we got Chris Jericho then made him fall flat back first into the ground until Chris Jericho went right to the top corner ropes, hit a picture perfect flying salt right onto Tommy Billington. This is where then we got Chris Jericho. That was very easy. Okay, but that the only way if it was an easy win, like if I go for a pin, this where what's his name? What's her name? Aubrey Edwards then try to go for the count, like 1, 2. But this is where we got Tommy Billington got the shoulders up, and this is where Chris Jericho nope. Unfortunately, not even close to 2.9. This is where Chris Jericho started hitting some knife edge chops because he may not be going back to the other company that the Ling General is currently wrestling in, and this is where he's the abomination of him, is a world champion or something like that. He was a much more better champion when he was on that show. That's where Chris Jericho's but it don't matter because I'm no longer going to be in that company. Even if I'm going to have a last run, it's going to be here in AEW. We'll see about that in the foreseeable future. But this is where we got Chris Jericho Irish whip Tommy Billington right to the upper left corner turnbuckle. But this is where Billington counters and push him and try to go for a German suplex. With him being successful right onto Chris Jericho. It's where then he tried to go for a pin right onto the Learning Tree Master. It's where Aubrey Edwards counted to 1, Reverend counted to 2, but it's where Jericho got the right shoulder up at 2.8. It's where then we got Billington to try to go for a suplex, but it's where Chris Jericho counter out of it. This is where he goes for the walls of Jericho right onto Billington. This is where he was successful of hitting the most painful submission maneuver in all professional wrestling. It's where he was tap out. This is where Billington's never, and this is where he grabbed onto the ropes. This is where he hits a snapping exploder suplex right onto Chris Jericho. Once he got out of it, the walls of Jericho, it's where he bounced him right to the right side towards the left side. But Chris Jericho countered. He tried to pick him up, tried to go for a sidewalk slam, but this is where Tommy Billington did a little cartwheel. He nearly botched it, but he managed to get back on his feet. He hits him with this spinning cartwheel tombstone pile driver. And that's where Tommy Billington then went right back up and then go up right on the top rope in the upper left side. This is where then he tried to. This is where I believe he was about to hit his uncle's finishing maneuver, but that's where he's no, I have a better idea. He let his vengeance get the better of him, and he decided to go right up and use all his MP meter energy right onto Brian Keith, cross-bodying him right into the left side of the ringside area. This is where we got Billington was okay, that takes care of him. And this is where Big Bill to try to run and attack him. He's and this is where he dodged out of the way, and sort of him with his big, dumb, goofy ass. And then this is where we got Billington will right up on the top rope, go to the bottom left side. This is where then he tried to go for that diving maneuver that his uncle would. This is where Chris Jericho hit him with the code breaker to seal the deal and get the 1, 2, 3. Winner of this match. Big congratulations to Chris Jericho. It may have not been a 5-star classic, which it don't have to be. And it was something that needed to be in the mid card, even though it was the opener rather than. But yeah, it seemed. But at the same time, it still seemed like the mid card. It didn't even matter with the fans, what they thought about the match. But let me know in the comment section right down below on what your thoughts onto the matter. This is where we got Hooked and came out as soon as Chris Jericho had a celebration after defeating Tommy Billington. This is where he's This where then he's I'm your world champion, Hook. And he's and Hook, if you like if you were right here right now, like I in the corner of England, like I will rip you like right like branch by branch of your little twiggy sapling body, I should say. Yeah, like, and this was like I will rip you branch by branch by branch, like if you're some kind of a weak, useless sapling branch, and then a weak sapling plant, I guess you could say. This is where Hook thing came out. This is where it's like, oh really? Like you think I'm a weak baby tree? Like I'll put that on the test. Like this baby tree's gonna come out here and challenge the mighty oak right here tonight in Cardiff. And this is where he did so. This is where everybody started cheering for him. Everybody but 7-foot whales were, at least, I should say. I would say for two reasons why I don't think that he was cheering for Hook. But this is where then Hook then went face to face to Chris Jericho. This is where he's like, I'm right here. Like, you want to do this right now? This is where before they can do anything, this is where it was Big Bill and this is where Big Bill attacks Hook from behind, coming from the outside. It's a ginormous choke slam, and then I was thinking to myself, like, was he supposed to fight Hook tonight? I guess that's changed for some reason. Like, I don't understand what's the reason why. We're probably gonna figure that out tomorrow in the afternoon on the wrestling news video. So stay tuned for that. But let me know down in the comment section right down below. I'll say besides this, like everything turned out to be good. Like I'll say the segment and then deciding to change this contest with Hook, like just to make him more credible enough to win the FTW championship. Even if they didn't do this, I just see Hook going 2-0 and all in of winning the FTW championship. But we're just gonna have to stay tuned, like if that does ever happen. But yeah, like I said, we're just going to have to wait and see. But this is where we got the AEW Women's World Championship match, which this was a banger. This definitely gets the second place spot of the match of the night. And I have to give, I'll say maybe the 6-man tag match, the third place spot. Chris Jericho and Tommy Billington, they did a successful job as well, which I give them the fourth place spot. Like, so yeah. So I'm going ahead right now. And these mid-card matches seem like main event worthy matches. And I was thinking to myself, like if there wasn't no main event segment, either of these championship matches, like whether if it's the Women's World Championship match or the Continental Championship, that should most definitely main event the show. But this is where we got the match starting off with the former allies of the Outcast, then go spinning around. This is where Sarai's like, what was that, fans? Like, you love to see your hero here? This is where fans like, hell yeah, we do. But we also like Timeless here. This is where Timeless did a little, what's that, like a little heartwarming pose with the fans. Like, it kind of seemed like a face versus face match, if that made sense. But yeah, this is where they got serious after doing a little goofy poses, like, which I think that gets second place spot. It's just that what's his name? That Brian Keefe was making me die with laughter like he does every week, even though he's supposed to be a serious character of the learning tree. But yeah, he just have me dying every time, especially when he gives a warning and put the whole AEW roster on notice. Like, you better respect his leader and his teacher, or he's gonna whoop their butts. But anyways, this is where we got. It's where then, yeah, fans like Tony, another half was chanting for Saraya. This is where we got Thomas Tony Storm grab onto her head, slammed her back first right into the camp to try to go for a pin. But this is where we got Saraya doing the same. This is where she tried to go for a pin of her own, but this is where she gets flipped right over into a surprise roll-up, I believe, like a schoolgirl version of a roll-up. This is where Saraya kicks out of it, super kicker right into the midsection. Saraya then Irish whip Thomas Tony Storm right into the upper left side. This is where she tried to go for a clothesline, but this is where we got Thomas Tony Storm grabbing onto the hands, onto the arms of Saraya. This is where she spin her. This is where she tried to go for back to belly maneuver. This is where she started playing a game of catch the foot, like in outsmarting Saraya of falling for it, like if she's the female Bugs Bunny of AEW. This is where she started lifting it up right between Saraya's legs to try to catch it, but she get it right back. She's like, go get it, like up, like too slow. And that's where she was like, oh, well, I'm just kidding. Like, I'm gonna let you grab it. And then once she tried to grab it again, this is where she leaped right over her. She after she pulled the foot back, and that's where then she went right up on her head. She tried to go for like some kind of a flying head scissors roll up, but this is where Saraya counters foot right off her. This is where we got Saraya didn't get then went right underneath her. This is where she goes for a schoolgirl roll up, but before it even turned through or even count to one. This is where we got
he just looked at the moon and it looks like there's a face in it.
Wow. Really?
I'm about to go outside and look.
Okay.
I'm about to go out here now.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. This is where we got, the Saraya got back up. This is where she can go for like some kind of what's that, a wheel rolling roll up, I believe. This is where. And then we got Saraya. Then was like, hey, man, like you are pretty challenging. Like I cannot deny that from you. This is where then we got Tom Stoker like, yeah, that's why I'm your women's world champion, darling. This is where she's like, if you want to do it again, this is where Saraya's like, absolutely not. Like I'm already at. This is where the referee's like, you gotta give her her personal space. Like, and besides, she's hanging on the rope. But this is where he's like, but at the same time, like you gotta get out, get back in the ring. Like just because you're on the apron, like doesn't mean like I'm not gonna be start counting because we're on the time limit now. This is where Saraya's like, okay. Like I just need to find a perfect spot to get back in the ring without getting attacked by the timeless one that used to be my friend. But the reason why she's no longer my friend because she attacked my mom. Like, and it was exactly around this time. That's where she started screaming, this is my house. Like, wait a minute. That's where Thomas started screaming right back at her. And I'm thinking, this is why I start reconsidering of making them the second place spot of Goofy Wrestling. This is where then we got Tom Storm trying to shoulder tackle, shoulder bump her right into the midsection. But this is where Saraya grabbed onto her head, started kneeing her right in the midsection. This is where we got This is where the referee tried to convince Saraya to stay in the ring, but then this is where like he was caught off guard because he got Harley Cameron throws Timeless Tony Storm right into the barricade. This is where we got Saraya then hits a cannonball right onto Saraya coming from the left side. This is where we got Saraya was back in control in the offense position. This is where she then had her right into the corner, like hitting her with all kinds of stomps and punches until she had a suplex in the middle of the ring. But once that did not work, like Saraya was in the ground out of exhaustion, though. That's where Thomas Storm somehow then got back up and hits a fisherwoman suplex before Saraya could do anything else to her. That's where then she sent. But unfortunately, when that did not work at the count of 2.8, this is where Thomas Tony Storm's like, I figured that was not going to work. That's why I came prepared. This is where she tried to go for what's that? The Storm Zero, but this is where Saraya then hit her former Rampage named move, which I forget that's what she calls it now. Like, I guess I still just call it Rampage, but yeah, she hits that move. But this is where she only got a 2.5 count out of it. This is where Harley Cameron's like, what the hell? Like, what does it take to put away the AEW Women's World Champion and make Saraya champion again, like she was last year when she had her moment in her home country? And this is where we got And this is where the Saraya then went right up on the top rope with Thomas Tony Storm right into the upper left side. This is where she tried to go for the sunset flip right onto the AEW Women's World Champion. They're trying to get her match against Mariah May in the battle of the hometown girls. The home country girl, I should say. But this is where she successfully hit the sit out sunset flip powerbomb off that turnbuckle corner. This is where she picks her up, hits her with the PTO driver right into in the ring. The plant up DDT, whatever it's called. But this is where once the referee start counting the 1 to 2.5, this is where we got Thomas Tony Storm lift up her arm, and then she grab onto the ropes that was near her in the left side in the bottom rope. This is where the referee's like, I can't continue to count. Like she got her hand on the rope. This is where then Saraya's like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Like that. Why rope breaks have to be so convenient to your opponents? This is where then fans were, and that's where half the fans were chanting, "Let's go, Tony," while the other ones would start chanting for Saraya. They were like, "Let's go, Tony, let's go, Saraya," or something like that. This is where That's where then Soraya was like I need to find the way to put Tony down for good, and she was thinking what to do in order to get the victory out of the current AEW Women's World Champion to become the champion of her own, because this is for the championship on the line. But this is where we got. This is where she tried to go for it again, but you know the rules. Even though she didn't even got a chance to attempt to do it, but this is where we got Timeless Toni Storm grab her around her neck, double claws, hits her with a double claw sit out choke slam right onto Timeless. Timeless Toni Storm did this to Soraya, like if she just did a sit out spine buster. But once she tried to go over a pin, Soraya got the shoulder up at 2.999 double triple nine minus 0.1 away from being 3. And then this was before, and this was like before the referee can even put his hand on the mat. Like, and this is where Toni Storm like damn it, and then this is where Harvey Cameron would start talking trash right on the Toni Storm. She was like, yeah, you're not gonna beat Soraya. Your time is up. And it's more or less than it was like when you were this. What, like you're this 1920s I'll say whatever the actress was in that year, like, yeah, she was like, you're just a wannabe of her. And then this is where the Thomas Toni Storm grab onto her face and start kissing all over it, like blah, blah, blah. And this is where then Harvey Cameron could not believe that what she just did that. She was like, and she was like, and people say I'm the crazy one. And this is where then we got Soraya then trying to hit her with a right hand to knock Toni down, but this is where she moved out of the way right on time. She hits her own friend Harvey Cameron instead. This is where we got Thomas Toni Storm then going for the surprise roll up, which is known as the most devastating move in all of professional wrestling. And she got the 1, 2, 3, and still your AEW Women's World Champion, Timeless Toni Storm. And then the one thing I was disappointed though, like I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy, but just saying right here, like I expected more from with Soraya, like with an angle like what she's gonna be doing on AEW All In. Let's hope they have something to follow up with this devastating loss with Soraya doing at least something, even if it's a non-wrestling role for the pay-per-view. Because come on, this is in her home country of England. So give the anti-diva what she wants. Give her what he wants, like a certain animal used to say in the other company, like to a certain cerebral assassin. Like, give her what she wants. But yeah, let me know in the comment section right down below if we're gonna see some follow up, like on either AEW Rampage or Collision, like with her could face like Harley Cameron after accidentally hitting her, and then we could see like. Harley Cameron did not appreciate that, and also she was just pretending to be her friend in order to ride off her success, like whatever success she had. But she's like, it turns out you're just worthless or something like that, and just pitiful and blah blah blah. But yeah, this is where we got Timeless Toni Storm then was celebrating in the ring. This